Ben is 15.8 meters below the surface of the water. Cam is 4.2 meters above Ben. Okay, so this time we have water, and Ben is 15.8 meters below the surface of the water. That's Ben. And then Cam is 4.2 meters above Ben. So then we go up 4.2. That's where Cam is. Okay. What is Cam's position relative to the surface of the water? Oh, so what we're trying to find is what is the distance here between Cam and the surface of the water. Okay. Well, I can see 15.8 is this entire distance. 4.2 is just this piece. How would I figure out that piece? Well, I could simply just subtract the total, 15.8 and 4.2. That's going to be 11.6. So 11.6 meters above the surface water, above the surface of the water, is that where Cam is? 11.6 meters, well, he's not up here in the air, so that doesn't seem to make sense. 11.6 meters below the surface, that does seem to make sense, because we just figured out that this distance here is 11.6, and he's below the water. Is he 20 meters above the surface of the water? No, he's not out of the water again. Is he 20 meters below the surface of the water? No, he's not that low, because they said he's above Ben. So he has to be less than 15.8. So it seems like it is B, 11.6 meters below the surface of the water. Good. Try one more. Okay, the number line shows the balance of Andy's bank account on different days of the month of June. Okay, the first, he's in the hole. 14th, he's still in the hole, but only 44. The 7th, he's at positive 48. The 5th, he's at positive $140. What date did Andy have $92 fewer in her account than she did on the 7th? Okay, on the 7th, she had $48. So on what date did she have $92 fewer in her account? Well, let's subtract those two. We need to do, we're doing 48 plus a negative 92, okay? Which is, that is 48 minus 92, but remember we don't like subtraction. We put that in parentheses and then put a plus in between. So we can use our rules. They're unlike, so we're gonna subtract 92 minus 48. We're gonna borrow, looks like 44. Sign of the bigger number is negative, so that's gonna be a negative 44. So where do we have a negative 44? It looks like on the 14th, she had negative 44. So let's go find, so it looks like it should be C, which would be negative 44. That would be the date she had $92 fewer in her account. More link here. A turtle challenges the Greek warrior Achilles to a race outside the gates of Troy. Achilles accepts. The turtle and Achilles start from the gates of Troy and race in a straight line away from the city. They keep a constant speed throughout the race. During the race, Achilles is F meters from the gates, while the turtle is only G meters from the gates. Okay, so if we have some gates here, looks like that. It says Achilles is F meters away, and the turtle is G meters away. Actually, F probably should have been farther than G, but it doesn't matter at this point. Which of the following expressions always represents the distance between the turtle and Achilles during the race? So which expression would always give us this distance right here? Okay? to find the distance between 2 points, you're always going to subtract. You're going to do f or g minus f or f minus g. You're going to get the same number. The only thing that's going to change is whether it's positive or negative. Now, the distance can never be a negative number. Elevation can be a negative number like the previous problem, but the distance between 2 points can never be negative, okay? So if we do f minus g, we're going to get a negative number. So then what we have to do is use absolute value. So if we do f minus g, in this case, that will be negative. So if we put absolute value around it, it's going to make it positive. It's going to make it a positive distance. Or we can actually switch those around, do g minus f. We're going to get the same number, but the sign will be different. So again, if we do absolute value, it'll make it positive. So these would actually give us the exact same answer, the distance between those 2 points. So b, f minus g, absolute value is always going to give us that positive distance. Okay, which of the following expressions represents the distance between 1.7 and negative 1/2 on a number line? Okay, now remember, to find the distance between 2 points, 2 things you must have. You must have absolute value and you must subtract. Regardless of what the signs of the numbers are, you have to have absolute value and subtraction. Okay, so there's actually 2 ways I could write this. I could do 1.7 minus negative 1/2, or I could flip those around. I could do negative 1/2 minus 1.7. Okay, this one works and this one works. And this one could actually be simplified to 1.7 plus 1/2 and then absolute value. Because when you subtract a negative, obviously that turns into a positive. Okay, so actually any of these 3 would work in this case. So which of these match? This one's close, but they forgot the negative 1/2, or the negative with the 1/2, so it doesn't work. This one matches this exactly, so B would work, and then none of the above. It would be B. So when you're doing distance between 2 points, remember that you must have absolute value and subtraction. Even if the numbers are negative, you still have to have the subtraction, okay? So like in this one, it says this is 0.2 kilometers below sea level, so that's actually a negative 0.2. So this negative is not right here. You would have to put it in parentheses with that negative, and then use the other number as well. Okay, you always have to subtract separately from the signs of the numbers in the problem. All right, good luck on your practice. Thank you.